Hey guys, on today's episode of the Career Pact podcast, I want to talk about taking the high road. Some of the benefits that you'll experience if you start doing this a little bit more consistently in your life. I also haven't plugged myself in a while, so if you guys have been enjoying the recent episodes, all the work that I've been putting in, share this with a friend, follow me on all socials at the Career Pact podcast, and leave me a 4 or 5 star review. It'll help me out a ton. Thank you so much. And if you guys have been enjoying all these episodes, feel free to let me know, reach out to me. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let's get into it. Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Career Pact podcast. My name is Neil Patel. I'm the host of this podcast. Have you ever been in a little argument or a debate and you see things start taking the turn for the worse? Your senses are telling you to engage, go deeper, become louder, prove a point, do it for yourself, stand up for your beliefs. And the next thing you know, boom, personal shots are being thrown left and right, and you hate it. You want to leave. You're this, you're that type of person. You always do this. You're such an ass. All of those remarks start to be thrown around like they're nothing. Or have you been in a situation where a coworker says something bad about you behind your back? You find out from another coworker and they ask if you're going to tell your manager or HR or confront them. And instead of wasting that energy, you just let it go. You combat it with love. You don't take it personal and you take the high road. That's what I want to chat about today. I want to chat about taking the high road in certain life situations. When someone is being condescending towards you, makes snarky comments, talks shit about you, says things out of line. Why is it so important to take this high road? We're going to come across a lot of things in our life, and understanding it's almost kind of like an art to how to not be an ass, how to say things in the right way, how to not come off as a jackass. I accompany taking the high road as a test of experience, as a test of wisdom, emotional intelligence, discipline. That's all of the that's like it's like a mixture of all those things. But I think the question that I was so interested in is, why is taking the high road so hard? Why is it so hard for me? It's so hard sometimes. You just want to engage in something so bad. And I've came up with a couple quick answers just off the top of the dome. I said it requires patience with people, which I don't have that much patience with people sometimes. I have patience with a couple people, like my significant other, my parents, my grandma, my close friends, the people I really look up to. It's easy to have patience for those people because you know them and you care for them and you love them. But when it comes with just your basic day to day people, the people you don't see often, it requires patience. Most people, they don't like to be patient. They just like to blab and say what they want right on the spot without thinking twice about it. So that's the first thing, is that it requires a lot of patience. Another thing, it's easy to want the validation of being right. We've all engaged in something that doesn't serve us. We've all done it at least once. And wanting to be right in a conversation, in a debate, in a back and forth, in a he said, she said type of disagreement, it's normal to want that validation. So why take the high road if I could just prove my point quickly in 2 minutes? What if I have all this evidence and all these things that other people are telling me about this person that I can bring up and just quickly make my point? And then I will be right, they will be wrong, and it'll be over and we could just move on. And the last thing is, people genuinely, there are certain sociopathic people that really enjoy the back and forth. Sometimes people don't take the high road on purpose, even when they are mentally capable of doing so. They do that because they like the adrenaline, they like the back and forth, they like the debative type of feeling that they get inside when they're just combating with someone. They actually think it brings them value or this sense of achievement when they prove themselves right. I think you have to pick and choose. It's okay to have that feeling of wanting to have an actual debate, but there's a tipping point. There's a line that sometimes people go over and they cross, and it becomes personal. And then once you start to sense that, okay, this is going in a direction that I don't want it to, you may have to pull back. But that's where the discipline comes in. That's where the wisdom comes in. That's where the emotional intelligence comes in and the self awareness to be like, okay, I need to pull back here. But 9 times out of 10, people don't have that realization because they're so heated in the moment that it just starts to turn into an argument. I'm that person sometimes too, where I enjoy the back and forth. One of my best buddies, whenever there's a topic or interesting conversation, it's very easy for me to go back and forth with him. Very easy. And if he's listening, he knows, right? If you're listening, dude, you know we go back and forth about this all the freaking time. Any topic, any political thing, economic thing, life thing, way of thinking, money, stocks, decision making. If it has viewpoints and beliefs that him and I are like semi agree on, but then I have something that I don't agree on, he has something he doesn't agree on. It's easy to get us for us to get in that combative conversation. However, the thing with us is that it never gets personal. It always stays in that realm of just conversation. And then once it's done, it's done. We're back to being boys. It's not like that for 99.9% of the people that we do interact with in our life. That's what I mean when you have to pick and choose. So it's hard. It's hard. We've said some words that we shouldn't have that made us look small, made us look weak, made us look like small little boys. Anyone who is a sports fan, boxing, NBA, football, whatever, how many times do you see interviews where the interviewer asks leading questions to try and get a reaction out of a player from something someone else said, another team or a coach, a big storyline that's going around on social media that's gaining some traction? They want that high profile player to make a claim, a statement, prove a point that they can use to draw more publicity, whether they want them to say something about another player, another coach, another team, a big social issue that's going on. They want firm statements and specific things that they're looking for that they can take those pieces of words that someone else says and turn them into a big storyline. But 9 times out of 10, if these professionals are PR trained, they know how to either dodge the entire question or say something vague the media can't take out of line, even if they wanted to. That is taking the high road. So anyone who is a professional NBA player, professional NFL player, professional soccer player, boxer, whatever, they have teams of people that make sure they monitor what they say. Because any interaction that they have, people may try and twist their words or get them to get a reaction out of them, say something that they don't mean. And when that happens, that's exactly what they're looking for. So having teams, they have teams of people that do everything in their power to prevent this because it ruins the character, the reputation, the entire brand image of that person. It does a lot of things. And if you do take the high road, this is what I really wanted to chat about, is that it does 3 big things for you. The first thing that is a benefit of taking the high road is it builds your character and it builds your reputation. I would much rather hang out with someone who has the mentality of taking the high road, not low blowing people, not making snarky comments, having a big ego, doing things just to please themselves. I would much rather hang out with the person who takes the high road consistently, stays quiet. I naturally gravitate more towards that type of energy because I just like that type of human being who is unbothered, is doesn't get easily altered by something someone says, even if it is directly targeted at them. You become a little bit more trustworthy. And people show, if they take the high road, they show what they can really handle. So you become trustworthy, you become more reliable. People will know you for something bigger than a small petty incident. Being completely honest, there's people to this day from my past who know me from a small petty incident and how I reacted, the things that I said or what I didn't do. I just didn't know at the time how big of an effect that it would have. But now I know. So moving forward, you become cautious about all these things, especially me being in the public eye, putting out videos, putting out content. It's important for me to monitor some of the things that I say. Not entirely because this is my show. I get to say whatever the fuck I want to say. But in some capacity, I must be cautious. So that's the first thing. It builds character, it builds reputation, and you become a person that people actually want to be around. At least most people. I don't know that many people that gravitate towards that negative energy and like being around people who are negative and do low blows and have snarky remarks to say about people. I'm not in for any of that. Number two, you grow spiritually. I don't know anyone here who is spiritual or anyone who even cares about it at all, but you become more in tune with your emotions. Everything is so much more enjoyable. And when I think about spirituality, I think spirituality is just a combination of your energy. The energy that you put out, the energy that you take in, how you interact with people, what is your definition of yourself, how do you see yourself, what really is your energy to your existence. And when you start taking the high road in any situation, everything becomes a lot more fun, a lot more enjoyable. You care less about what people think of you. It becomes so freeing. I don't want to make it sound like I'm someone who's always taking the high road because I mess up too. We all make mistakes. Players make mistakes too. The more often you take the high road, it becomes freeing because because it all commences with how we handle small day-to-day interactions and conflicts. How do you react when someone messes up your Starbucks order? How do you react when you asked for beans instead of meat at your Taco Bell order? How do you react when you went for a pickup order and half of the items were missing? How do you react when you had a pickup order at the grocery store and you went to pick it up and they call you last minute saying, "Hey, 7 out of the 15 items you wanted are not here and we can't provide them for you." How do you react when a friend tells you that, "Hey, you're being an asshole, you're being shitty. I can't believe you would say this thing," to another one of my friends? "I think you really need to check yourself." How do you react when your boss or your manager tells you something that you don't want to hear and they say it in a aggressive way, not passive aggressive, aggressive, telling you to step your shit up? How do you react there? How do you handle that interaction? How do you handle that little bit of conflict? What happens in your relationships with your significant other? How do you handle the rifts and the ups and downs of that? Take the high road, you grow, your energy grows, your spirituality grows. The way you treat people becomes a lot more fluid and natural rather than it being forced. At least that's from my observation. And the third thing, my favorite thing as a benefit from taking the high road in life with people and situations is that it's the best revenge. And this is kind of like the psychotic, sociopathic tendency in me is, yes, I will take the high road. Yes, I will not engage. Part of me wants to get back at someone in a way where it's like I'm going to let my actions do the talking. I'm going to let my results speak for themselves. And the best revenge is not being like your enemy. When you turn into the same type of person, or if you give back the same energy sometimes that other people give to you, if they give you shitty and bad energy, and if you give that same type of energy back, all the work that you may have been doing on yourself, all the self-development that quote unquote that you may have been doing, it all goes out the window because you just went down to the same level that this other person is at. Just because you chose to stoop low. Two of my favorite quotes. The best revenge is to not be like your enemy. And another one, anger is not impressive or tough. It's a mistake. It's a weakness. I've been surrounded with a lot of people in my life who do default to anger and frustration. And I've voiced my opinion on this many times about how I still to this day get frustrated relatively quickly. However, with time, understanding to take the high road as often as I can, meditating, sitting with myself, journaling. I don't know if you guys see this fly hovering around in the frame. Yeah, you guys definitely do. Jesus. I've been trying to get this fly out of this house, guys, for the past like 3 days, and it's just not working. I lost my train of thought. But regardless, revenge is to not be like your enemy. Show them how unbothered you are. There is nothing more satisfying than seeing someone's face after they see how unbothered you are by their comments and anything that they do to bring you down. Nothing. The friend who did that, the coworker, the acquaintance, the teammate in sports, anyone. When people sense how genuinely unbothered you are and how little you care about the words that are coming out of someone's mouth and the actions that they just made, it's so freeing because it's their responsibility. They're the ones that have to move past it. For you, it's just cool, man. I am good. I am chilling. I'm moving on. So take the high road over and over, and it'll yield better relationships. For one, and the other thing is that your enemies will stop being your enemies if you just keep taking the high road over and over. They won't become your enemies anymore. Just keep taking the high road, y'all. It'll be fun. It's great. However, last thing that I want to voice is that there is one caveat. One caveat to taking the high road often is you may reach a breaking point. And when I say breaking point, here's what I mean. You may break if someone keeps disrespecting you over and over and over and over, and it doesn't stop. Even if you keep being unbothered, if you keep taking the high road, if you keep showing love and if you keep showing compassion and empathy, and still they continue to be mean and be horrible and disrespect you, you will break. Either you put your foot down, you have to confront them, you need to have a proper sit down conversation with someone like, yo, what is this problem? Why are we having this issue? And this can be, again, at work, it can be within your family, it could be your friends, your close friends, having that difficult conversation. And honestly, I haven't been presented with that yet in my life. And I hope I don't have to, but as being real, I might have to soon when I reach a breaking point with someone or something or whatever someone's been doing to me for months on end. Having that hard conversation is the hardest freaking part because you have to do stuff that's hard. Hard conversations. I think I need to read a book on how to have hard conversations because it'll benefit me not only for myself with the people that I have in my life, but also my relationship. I think oftentimes in relationships, people don't have the hard conversations that they need to have. I had a hard conversation with my significant other today. It went okay. It was up and down, but that's why you have hard conversations to figure out, hey, are we really on the same page here? What work needs to be done for us to get back on the same page? But remember, 99% of the time with people that is not the case. They won't keep disrespecting you and they won't keep coming at you if you just show them how unbothered you are. 99% of the people won't do that because 99% of the time most of these people will scurry away faster than you've ever seen once they see how little you care. Just be wary of it. So that's all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed taking the high road. It's a fascinating topic and it's a fascinating way of living. The ones who embody it, the ones who make it a part of their life, they tend to live a more freeing, happy, and peaceful life. Again, the three quick benefits of taking the high road is number one, you build character and you have a good reputation. You become a little bit more trustworthy, reliable, and people will actually want to hang out with you and know you for something bigger than the small petty incidents that you give false reactions to. Number two, you grow spiritually. You become more in tune with your emotions, your emotional intelligence increases, things are more enjoyable, you care less about what people think of you. And number three is the best revenge you can ever have to show how unbothered you are from what someone else says to you. There's a couple things that I'm gonna need from you guys. The gentleman's agreement. I haven't said the gentleman's agreement in probably over 100 plus episodes, which is kind of sad. But for all of you newbies, the gentleman's agreement was something that I made on day one, which is I give you all this free content and free words of Neil every day for about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes if you're lucky. All I ask from you guys is you share this with a friend, you follow me on all socials at the Korea Pact Podcast, and lastly, you leave me a 4 or 5 star review on Spotify. It helps me out a ton. We have about 16 right now. I want to get to like 25. That would be amazing. The more, the better, and I would appreciate it a ton. Thank you guys so much for listening. Like I always say, take care, tell someone that you love them, and go do something nice for someone today because They genuinely deserve it. Thanks so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.